songs that we'll be singing for you today, you'll forgive me. I have a couple little notes just so I don't forget anything. We're starting actually with one called Bushes and Briars, which is one of the first folk songs that Vaughn-Williams discovered that kind of gave him a lot of his flavor that would go through all his other music. And folk songs have been really important throughout the history of lots of kinds of music in that they've turned into hymns, some of the hymns that you sing in hymnals. They've turned into symphonies, tone poems, all sorts of things. And one of the threads that you'll notice with a lot of these songs is that they are often about love, but never in the good way. It's always unrequited love, or someone done me wrong, that kind of thing. Sort of, I suppose, country music of centuries past. So it's almost always about that. And in fact, most of the ones we're singing today are of that ilk. We have one that's not. So the first one, Bushes and Briars, is sort of along those lines, and you have the words there. A very beautiful one. A couple of solos in that, which are noted in your program. The second one is one of the happy ones, so enjoy it while you can. Dashing Away with the Smoothing Iron is from the 19th century, so it's most of these that we're doing today date back, some of them even as far as the late 16th century. But this is one of the newer ones. Dashing Away with the Smoothing Iron, happy, kind of light, fast, and fun. So that's the one happy one, and all the other ones are sad. The Early One Morning, which we'll sing after that, is from the late 18th century, and was actually also found under the name Lamenting Maid. So that probably sums it up, most of the genre. And then a famous one after that, Green Sleeves, which you'll recognize, set a lot of times to music for Christmas. But in its original form is another sort of love song in its way. As these things, it's also the oldest one of the ones that we'll be singing today, from the late 16th century. Has, like many things do, kind of grown its own story. There are stories that take it down the road of the lady being very naughty, and then there are other ones of the lady being very chaste and saying, no, I don't want you. I'll just tell you this, it's sort of interesting. So those two kind of paths come from the idea of greed. The bad one, I'll say it as wholesomely as I can. The bad one being the idea that someone whose clothes were green were stained with grass from them having been rolling around in the grass outdoors. So that is sort of the path that led it to being, well, this woman was of ill repute, perhaps. And then the other is that historically, this color of green was a symbol of the lightness of love. So she wasn't. She's like, oh, no, I'm too pure and chaste. So you never know. You could take it any way your mind wants to go with it, I suppose. Wally Wally, the next one is English, Scottish origin, 17th century, unhappy marriage, back to the themes. And that's pretty self-explanatory if you look at the words there. And then we're going to end with one of the most famous folk tunes from the British Isles, which is under several different names. Air from County Derry is one of them, but also known as Londonderry Air. So that's has picked up various lyrics over the years, but Oh Danny Boy is probably the most famous of the words that you've heard for that. The version that we'll be doing today by Percy Granger is just on Ah, so it's just, you just get to enjoy the music, and you can invent your own words. It's from the mid-19th century, so it's one of the latest, one of the later folk songs that we'll be singing today. So, thank you so much for coming. We hope you enjoy the folk songs. If you want to come and sing with us, if you say, I'd like to sing with them, we rehearse only 45 minutes a week on Wednesdays, right after the concert here at 12:45 and 1:30. And we'll be starting back up in January on the 9th. So if you'd like to join us and see what it's like to sing with this group, we'd love to have you. And again, thank you so much for coming today. So I welcome out the Interchurch Center Chorus.